As an avid online gamer, I'm no stranger to communicating verbally with a wide swath of the population running the gamut of the socioeconomic spectrum, doing so on the foolish notion that teamwork makes the dream work. Oh, of course, the reality is you can't convince a kid to take advice from a disembodied voice online. It's safe to say I've heard all kinds of sounds through my headset, but one in particular is annoying and troublesome. No, it's not the siren song of a single mom yelling at her child that it's past his bedtime. The sound I'm talking about is best described as a chirp, no doubt emanating from a smoke detector, desperately signaling for a change of batteries. It pops up at regular intervals, cutting through voice communication. Oftentimes, not even the loudest sound, but the most problematic nonetheless. My initial hypothesis was that the individual with the smoke detector chirp is simply lazy. Hence, the chirp of laziness was coined. They always swear up and down that they can't hear it. The term ear blindness has been brought up as they've grown to tune it out. But even more worrisome, it turns out that the individual with the chirp of laziness is more often than not black. Now, I brought this up on Reddit, and this post has been getting a lot of replies because it seems to be the only search result on Google for this subject. No one is willing to broach, can black people hear the chirp of the low batteries in the smoke detector? Scientists are not willing to touch the subject because of the racial implications. But you will notice during the lockdown, if a black guest was on a show, coming in via Zoom meeting, there was a chirp of laziness. I've seen this done with Lennox Lewis on a podcast. You can have mayors and elected officials of various cities across the country calling in for a Zoom meeting on live television and hearing that chirp. And no one is willing to bring it up. Upon further investigation, I have concluded the following as possible explanations behind why black people cannot hear the chirp from smoke detectors. It has been brought to my attention by a guy who was delivering pizzas that there was a complex that he would deliver to, and it was all black residents, and it was a symphony of chirps. Makes you wonder how it is that more black people die in fires than white in the United States. It's quite possible very few black Americans, at least, have smoke detectors that are functioning correctly. Now, have they A, grown accustomed to tuning out background noise? Say if you live near the railroad or an airport, the plane flying overhead, the train going by may not bother you, but they will bother a visitor trying to sleep over for the night. Or is it possible that black people have a genetic difference regarding how they interpret sounds? I am actually more inclined to believe this if we take into account the music black people listen to. Their cars, very heavy bass as they roll by. They love to feel that bass. And it could be because the pitch from the smoke detector chirp is simply not audible for them. The scientific community should be ashamed of themselves for not exploring this. And I hope that in some way this video encourages the black population to take action. Change the batteries in your smoke detector, whether you need to or not. Just do it right now. And please let your elected officials know that you want something done. Black lives are at stake here. Demand regulation for inclusive smoke detectors. Now look, I'm not one of those smash the like button type of creators. Please pass this message along. If you have a black friend and you hear the chirp at his place, don't be afraid to speak up. You could save his life.